Greetings, upstanders. Dr. O here. I wanted to talk a little bit about sports, but actually a little bit more about protecting black women more than anything else. But I wanted to get your thoughts on it. As some of you all have seen, former NFL football player RG3 has been, he's always been critical of Angel Reese, superstar WNBA player, black woman. And I'm not going to go down the whole list of things that he's done, but recently, he's one of the things he uses to build his platform is the fact that, what he says is a fact that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark. And if you don't know Caitlin Clark, she's new darling of the NBA, white female second year player, incredible player, plays for the Fever. And people have been working to still, well, not, she and Angel Reese have had a rivalry. They've played against each other since like high school. There was a whole national championship game in college and all of these other types of things where, they've had their back and forth. Some of y'all may remember the whole this issue. So people are really working hard to recreate the Magic Johnson Larry Bird rivalry of the 80s, and both Clark and Angel Reese. So like I ain't never even seen those guys play. I don't really know much about that story, but it's really unfortunate how people have taken to really racialize this rivalry between these two individuals, and that's what it is. Just giving y'all a little bit of a recap for those who don't know. But recently, Shaquille O'Neal, former NBA great, who is a mentor to Angel Reese, comes out of LSU as well. They're both LSU grads. He said that, yo, RG3, if you keep talking about Angel Reese, I'm going to punch you in your bleeping face. And he said it many times. He's like, yo, just do your thing, stay in your lane, leave her alone. And Shaq also said that he was the one who has been telling Angel Reese, don't go back at these people, stay calm, chill, so on and so forth. Anybody who knows Shaq will say that Shaq is a fun-loving guy. He's very nice. He takes care of people. He's also fiercely loyal to people who he loves and respects. And so a lot of people saw that as out of character. I mean, personally, I saw it as out of character. I mean, even with when him and Kobe were having their beefs, right? You never heard him publicly threaten him, or I've never heard Shaquille O'Neal publicly threaten anyone. And he's he's like some type of deputized officer, so he has a big respect for the law. Father-in-law was a sergeant and all of that. So yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think it was wrong for him to threaten RG3 that way? He could have said other things like, we'll come at your platform or do some other things, but just say, yo, stop threatening her, leave her alone. This is my mentee, so on and so forth. But the threatening of violence, where are your thoughts as it relates to that? So let me tell you what I think. I think that I am not in support of violence. I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in threatening violence like that. I don't think that's a good thing. I think violence begets more violence. And so I'm going to be consistent as it relates to that. Obviously, there's a conversation about whether self defense is violence, which is a whole nother conversation because it has nothing to do with Shaq and self defense. Now, just so y'all are clear, so I don't think that part is necessary. But what I do appreciate is I appreciate the stance that Shaq is taking to protect this young black woman. Because Angel Reese is 23 years old and she's been through more than people twice her age as it relates to some of the things that she's been dealing with. I mean, the way that people have use AI to sexualize her. She's going to be on the cover of the next NBA 2K, and RG3 retweeted a guy with like 25 followers who basically put a monkey image of her, on the cover on the like. And she just goes through it. She's been called a villain, evil, all of these different types of things, and she's just out there playing ball. And of course, she celebrates being a black woman and celebrates being herself. Would wear the crown during the college days, inspires so many girls, many young black girls, but girls of all backgrounds. And she's crushing it in the NBA, like the first player I think to get this fast to like 500 rebounds and 500 points or something. So, but I don't see a lot of black men in the sports world defending her. I see more of them defending Caitlin Clark, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Shannon Sharps of the world, and many others. I don't know all of their names, and I don't watch a lot of sports stuff, but from what I've seen, there seems to be more an effort to protect Caitlin Clark than there is to protect Angel Reese. from what I see, the majority of people who I've seen in the sports world work to protect Angel Reese are other black females, commentators, the Monica McNutts of the world, who always keeps it 100 in terms of just everything. But, you know, I feel like Angel Reese, as it relates to black men, has kind of been left out there on her own. And I just think that that's problematic. If y'all have instances of other people, let me know in the comments of brothers who have stepped out to defend her. Let me know. But when I start thinking about Angel Reese, I start thinking about the 21-year-old student McPherson, who was beaten in New York over a parking spot, college student, and nobody was there to come to her defense. And then a bunch of black people turned out at the home of these individuals to let them know that this black woman was going to be protected. I think that is very necessary. I think that is very necessary. Again, none of the violence, but people need to show that black women in our community are going to be respected and protected. Now, one thing that's obviously going to pop into the comments down here is going to be, well, what about hip hop? What about the music? What about all the misogyny and so on and so forth? And look, any of y'all who knows me, if you know me, I've been talking about misogyny in hip hop forever. I have songs about it. I talk about it in my books. I talk about it on my albums. You know that I have serious problems with the misogyny in the music, and what's gotten so bad, what people call misogyny noir, which is misogyny noir being French for black. Misogyny directly expressed towards black women. Now, again, of course, it's not just hip hop; it's America. America is built on the broken womb of a black woman, and that's a whole conversation I get into in Lies About Black People. And so, I do feel that if we did more as black people in our community through our music, through our films, through other things, to show respect for black women, it would really go a long way. No, I'm not saying that we are responsible for making sure this country treats black women right and ignoring all of the racism and misogyny that we have experienced in this country. I'm not ignoring any of that. And this is not, it's just not, it's just not that. I'm not trying to be an apologist for anything else. And we're just not doing here. The politics. I think the word I was looking for was the politics of respectability. So sorry if I took a little while to come around to that. I'm not talking about that, but I'm always concerned about what our community does first as it relates to how we treat ourselves, how we look at ourselves, how we address ourselves, whether it's N words, B words, and so on and so forth. And I'm always going to speak out about how we need to do that. And so, yes, I wish that there was less misogyny, no misogyny, in the music. I wish that the film industry and television industry, did better by how it treats black women. And that's not just black people. I'm saying the industry in general. But yes, I do believe that we have to do more. We have to say more. We have to verbally and visibly show that we respect and are going to protect black women. And to be quite honest, we just haven't really done that in large part. And I think that that's very problematic. And so let's build in our community. Let's focus on doing that. Let's continue to do that. Where it's lacking, let's do more of it. And we can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can demand more from our own community while we challenge all of the ignorance and hate and misogyny and disrespect that black people and specifically black women face from the larger American context and society, which has been happening for centuries. As Karen Hunter likes to always say, two things can be true. So let me know what you think. Was Shaq right? We know RG3 was wrong, so I ain't even going to ask that question. Could Shaq have gone about it another way? Is Angel Reese right, to keep being calm and just doing her thing? And what are your overall thoughts about the work or the job that we do in our community to make sure that we protect and respect black women? Malcolm X said the most disrespected person in our society is the black woman. And I want to get your thoughts on that as we go into 2025 and beyond. Peace.